Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. It's the most important news and editorial of the day that are relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 31st of January. The first important news that is Center to roll out process to set up 16th Finance Commission. Second, Information and Broadcasting Ministry issues advisory to TV channels. Third, Ukraine war issues call for obvious UNSC reform because there was a lot more question about the United Nations Security Council. Second last, Republic Day Tibrix State Award. And the last is an editorial tasks for India's millet revolutions. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I begin this session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press a like button. Starting the session with the first news, that is Center to roll out process to set up 16th Finance Commission, something important for General Studies Paper 2, that is Paper 3 precisely, that is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. Currently, India is having 15th Finance Commission and the chairman of the 15th Finance Commission is N.K. Singh. Now, the Union government will soon kick off the process to set up 16 finance commissions, with the finance ministry likely to notify the terms of reference. So TOR will be issued by the Ministry of Finance. Accordingly, 16th Finance Commission's के लिए formation की बात की जाएगी. The 15th Finance Commission was set up in November 2017 with a mandate to recommend the 5-year period, that is for 2021. Till 2021, this is valid because the complete tenure of any finance commission is 5 years. While the constitution require the finance commissions to be set up every 5 years, and the 15th finance commission mandate was extended till 2025, breaking the cycle because of some other economic reason. Even the COVID-19 were not the point that the economic recession was witnessed. So due to some reason, the time and reason for that, the extension was made to the Finance Commission. Now, what is Finance Commission? Some basic about it, which might be relevant for the prelims examination and many other competitive examination. It is constituted under Article 280. It's a quasi-judicial body. It is constituted by President every 5 years or earlier as required. Now, it is required to make recommendations to President on the following. First is with regards to the distributions of net proceeds of the taxes that is shared between the center and the state, and the allocations between the state and respective share of such proceeds. The principal, which would decide in grant in aid as per Article 275, measures needed to augment the consolidated fund of the state to supplement resources of panchayat and municipality in the state-based recommendations of the state finance commissions, and any other matters that is referred to it by the President of India. Now, background की अगर बात करें how thing has evolved and how thing has been working. For the last time, the Finance Commission was granted a 6-year time frame for 9th Finance Commission, which was formed in 1987, and it was asked to submit the single year report with 1989-90, the 5-year report, and for the 5-year it was 1994 and 95. The report was submitted in 1988 and 1990, the country then Finance Minister S.B. Chauhan and Madhu Davande respectively. Now, the 10th Finance Commission was still constituted in June 1992 with 5-year deadline, specifying Article 280 of the Constitution, which has not been in the case of the time. And the key changes for 16th Finance Commission would be co-assistant for another permanent constitution bodies like GST Council. So again, two bodies are there. So they need to have a difference, a thin line difference. Basically, the one is recommending on the part of the distribution and other is looking forward with the actual distribution part. Now, moving to the other news, INB Ministry issues advisory to TV channels, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So recently, the Information and Broadcasting Ministry has clarified that the topics which are of national importance and social relevance will be embedded in the program that is broadcasted by the private TV channels and would qualify under the obligations of the guidelines for uplinking and downlinking the television channel in India to telecast such content for 30 minutes daily. Now, as per the ministry, the broadcaster will have the liberty to modulate their content, but that should be within the ambit of national interest and social relevance. So this is again a good idea if you are attempting a case study also in ethics paper, general studies paper 4. अगर GS4 में आप attempt करें तो इस तरह के examples आप वहाँ पे quote कर पाएंगे. The relevance content embedded in the program may be accounted for the public service broadcasting. However, it should be noted that in a manner that overall objective of the public service broadcasting may be achieved. Now, themes की अगर बात करें, the Information and Broadcasting Ministry said that the content could include the themes of education, that is spread for literacy, agriculture, rural development, health and family welfare, social science and technology, women welfare for the women, weaker section of the society, protection for environment, cultural heritage and national integration. तो ये कुछ themes ministry ने बताई हैं जिन पे programs बनानी mandatory होंगी. The ministry issues guideline on November 9 last year, and following the consultation with the stakeholder, it has now come up with the advisory. Now, compliance and self-certification की बात की गई है. The advisory by the ministry sought to achieve an objective of public services broadcasting by the private TV channel with the voluntary compliances of the self-certifications. And the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has said that the list was indicative and could be extended to similar subject and topic, which should not deviate the actual theme, which is listed by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. A common e-platform can also be developed as a repository of relevant videos and textual content from various sources and access and uses. The content need not be more than for a 30-minute of stretch, so maximum of 30 minutes will be allocated, and it could not spread over a smaller time slot. So na hi kam, na hi zyada, maximum in average of 30 minutes should be there. Now, moving to the other news, Ukraine war issues call for obvious UNSC reform, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic, that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So in a recent statement, United Nations General Assembly President has said that the dysfunction system of the United Nations Security Council has been reflected in an absurd situation arising out of none of its permanent member that is attacking Ukraine. We have seen that the functioning of UNSC was in question during the recent Russia-Ukraine war. So the UN General Assembly President has said that the UNSC has failed to address the crisis and reinforce the urgent need for reform. The UN Security Council reflects the challenging balances of global power and economic heft of various countries that was criticized for the slow process. Around the 17 year back, the changes were proposed, but still there's no part of the reform that took place. Now, India ने भी reform के लिए pitch की है. I'll tell you what India's stances are on that part. So what is India's demand for permanent membership? Although India has strongly demanded a permanent membership of the UN Security Council, considering the size and population of the country and its role in international affairs. India is a country which has a highest participation in the UN peacekeeping force. UN peacekeeping force की अगर बात करें, इंडिया के काफी forces है जो वहां पे अपने services दे रहे हैं. The current permanent member of the UNSC are China, France, Russia, United States, and United Kingdom. So these are the 5 permanent members. Now, addressing the group of diplomats, the strategic affair expert and academician has said that the UNSC president has also wondered that there's still no engagement on the text to take the reform forward. So there's no paperwork, there's no initiation from the UNSC end so that they can address the demand that is there by India for the permanent membership. So this is again a long debatable issue. Many a times UPSC has asked question in the mains examination although, but आपको कुछ factual points तैयार करने होंगे जो कि इंडिया की बैकिंग के लिए valid हो. Now, praise for India's global effort. If you look into the part of the global effort, the President of the United Nations General Assembly has also lauded India's sending medical aid and COVID-19 vaccines to large number of countries and help them to deal with the pandemic. Now, Republic Day TWX State Award, something important for General Studies paper 1, that is the Indian culture, will cover the salient form of art, architectures, literature from ancient to modern times. Why I'm discussing this news? Because UPSC has asked a question in 2018 or 19, you do check it out. तो डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन पूछे गए थे कि टेबलेट की क्या रेलेवेंस है. कई बार जिस थीम को प्रेडिक्ट की जाती है रिपब्लिक डे के पीरियड में, उससे भी आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछे जा सकते हैं बैकग्राउंडर में. द कलरफुल उत्तराखंड टेबल्स which was shown the state wildlife and religious site, the 71st Republic Day Parade won the top prize. For many other competitive examination, a direct question can be framed from this one. Uttarakhand showcased the state wildlife and religious site during the Kartavya Path ceremony. This is the name which has been changed. Now, while the Army's Punjab regiment has been adjusted with making marching the consignment among the 3 services, and in the statement, the Ministry of Defense said that the official winner were picked by the panel of judges. So it's not something which is decided, it's a panel of judges which unanimously decide upon the ranking. Now, other states की अगर बात करें, Gujarat emerged as a numero uno states in the popular choice of the segment, and the Maharashtra Triplex on Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav presented the Sade Din Shaktipeeth or Nari Shakti. Now, while the Uttar Pradesh has showcasted Ayodhya Deepotsav, which is again something very important in the context where Ayodhya temple is built. Now, among the ministries, Ministries of Tribal Affairs has forecasted with the Eklavya Model Residential School, which has won the best prize. CPWD की अगर बात करें, उन्होंने बायोडाइवर्सिटी कंजर्वेशन और वंदे मातरम डांस ग्रुप have earned a special prize. This is what the statement by the Ministry of Defense has said. The entire program is organized by Ministry of Defense, right? And among the central ministries and department, the tributes of CRPF and Ministry of Home Affairs emerged as the best popular choice among the segment. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, Tasks for India's Millet Revolution, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementations. So what I'm discussing under this editorial, first talking about the theme of this editorial, that is millet productions and challenges. First is the barrier in millet consumptions, total productions of nutri-cereals, problem and challenges, changes in Kohli Hill. We'll see the case study on this and the economic issues. So the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has declared year 2023 as the International Year of Millet. I think most of you must be aware of this fact. I have several times discussed this news, and there's a detailed analysis on the part of Yojana as well. Do check it out on our website, you'll get the details. The millet has a special nutritive properties, that is high in protein, dietary microfibers, as well as micronutrients and antioxidants. The millets have a special agronomics characters like drought resistance and suitable for semi-arid region. Now, if millets are good for nutrition and are climate resilient, then what the constraint to increase the millet cultivation and consumption? तो सारी चीजें अगर सही हैं तो कहाँ पे constraint है, and which are the things that is not working out for the feasibility, the total productions की अगर बात करें, so that will be discussing in the editorial part. Now, barriers in the millet consumptions की अगर बात करें, India has 2 major group of millet that is mostly grown. The first is major millet, which include sorghum, pearl millet and finger millet, and the other is minor millet, which include foxtail, little millet, kodo, porso, and barnyard millet. Now, in 1920, the total offtake of the cereal, the public distribution system and integrated child development scheme has also meals around 54 million ton, which is not that high a number. And this is if about 20% of the rice and wheat to be replaced by millet, the state would have to produce 10.8 million ton of the millet, right? So this is something essentially required to cover the part of the ICDs and other schemes. Total production of nutri-cereals की अगर बात करें, in 1920 the total production of nutri-cereals, that is earlier called coarse meal, was 47.7 million ton, and the bulk of this maize is like non-millet crop, mainly as feed. Production of sorghum की अगर बात करें 4.8, pearl millets 10.4, finger millet is 3.7, right, and other millet is like put together is 18.9. So these are the data. If you want, you can take out the data and even you can utilize this in the mains paper. The productions includes the millet for the PDS and would be feasible if 50% of the production were procured and part of that. Currently, millets are produced only with the few states and stock and central pool are small. Now in May, the central stock has 33 million ton of the rice and 31 million tons of wheat. Only 4 lakh ton for nutritional were part of it. Problems and challenges की अगर बात करें, decline in the area under the millet cultivations and low productivity of millets are the two real challenges that is faced. Now over the last decade, the problem of sorghum, that is jowar, has fallen, and the production of millet, pearl millet, that is bajra, has stagnated, and the productions of other millet which include finger millet, that is ragi, has stagnate or declined. So this is the ground reality, and the part of the development and even for the part of the cultivation is not that high as anticipated. The productions of jowar and bajra has increased but only marginally, and unless productions and productivity are increased substantially, all exorant of to consume the millet will be unknown. So it's not possible until and unless we increase the productions to a larger extent, सारे masses को या फिर जो population को cater करनी है उसके करने के लिए productions level में काफी ज़्यादा increase करने की ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. Now changes in the Kohli Hill. So this was an experiment or project by the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. You can definitely use this as an example in mains paper. So what was the main objective of this foundation? First was to preserve the crop diversification in local millet variety to increase the productions and consumptions of millet. ये दूसरी priority रखी गई. And third is to enhance the farm income. So first crop diversity, उसके बाद consumptions of millet, and third is the farm income. Because if the farmers are not benefited, there is no other purpose of coming up with nutrition value अपनी जगह पे, but farmers को भी benefit होनी चाहिए. Then only they will come up with the production part. So the Kohli Hill has blocked the Namkal district is a project. It's a distinct geographical and agro region in the Eastern Ghat populated with the income and poor tribe household. Now, economics issues की अगर बात करें, most difficult outcome is to measure the changes in the consumption and nutrition. A rapid sample study in 2021 shows that the portion of all ages at millet to 9 changes per month. The 15-year earlier, a different study shows that 39% of the household consume millet regularly. The government of India and state government, notably Karnataka and Odisha, have integrated the millet missions. These policies are welcome, but unless we pay attention to the economics of the millet, and even if we are facing the losing battle, it's something it should be more profitable. So अगर farmers की बात करें, उन्हें profit होनी चाहिए, then only they will cultivate it, and if not, the production will definitely be on a lower side. So therefore, there's a lesson that has to be learned from Tamil Nadu, as an example you can quote, that can help the millet cultivation are profitable for farmers as well. Now moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, also the correct option is C. Today's MCQ for practice. First is, which among the following has recently released the COVID-19 Performance Index? Harvard University, Serum Institute of India, Lowy Institute और World WHO ने रिलीज किया. आपको बताना है करेक्ट ऑप्शन इसमें से कौन से. Now the second is the fourth edition of Future Investment Initiative Forum was hosted by which of the following cities? Sweden, Lavos, Riyadh, and New Delhi. So do check it out for the correct option. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.